Next up, I'm going to talk about the changing of managers. It happens in football, unfortunately. When a team's two reasons really: doing really well and the manager moves on to something better, or if they're doing really bad and it gets the sack and somebody else comes in. It can really infuriate me when I see a team underperforming with good players. You think about Chelsea. You don't know what's going on, but you see teams underperforming and almost. I can honestly, hand on heart, say I've never been involved in a change room that's not tried. But whether they go on that extra yard or whatever for that manager, I'm not sure. And then that manager will get the sack because the team's not performing. Then a new manager comes in, and all of a sudden they'll go on a winning run, or the fortunes will change, and they go on and perform well, and you think, it's the same team, maybe one or two changes, and it infuriates me a little bit that the players beforehand couldn't have that personal pride in them anyways to go that extra yard, even if they weren't happy with what the manager was doing. There's certain circumstances where the tactics of the manager is totally wrong, and he's not playing the best players in the squad, but I think in general, if the team's not performing, you kind of got to question the players as much as the manager. You can hear, like you say, you hear of managers losing changing rooms, and it's a snowball effect. From my personal experience of a manager losing a change room, it is a snowball effect, and it starts. Younger players, especially, are influential. They can be, they're impressionable rather, and the older players can influence their way of thinking massively. And if the manager loses the experienced players, then it kind of the younger players follow suit because they don't have the experience and the mental strength to go against the tide. They kind of follow a little bit because you'd hope that experienced players will lead you in the right direction. So the most important thing about having a sound changing room is the experienced players are united together with the manager. And once the manager, and it's tough because managers have to make decisions they might not want to make with experienced players, like leaving them out, like not involving them. And if that experienced player doesn't take it the right way, all of a sudden you can become a bad egg and be, sitting around having lunch, and a young player could be sat there listening to him, and he could be saying, "Oh, I'm not sure the manager knows what he's doing. I wouldn't have changed the team. I would have done this. I would have done that." Plants a seed in that young lad's head, and then all of a sudden he thinks like that. Oh, does the manager know what he's talking about? I always trusted the manager, but well, if he thinks something different, then all of a sudden that doubt, and then he'll go around to his mate's house that night, and they might be just playing a bit of FIFA or watching a football match, and then you go, "Do you think the manager's good?" And all of a sudden that sparks, and all of a sudden it snowballs, and it gets bigger and bigger. A few bad results, you lose it, and all of a sudden the players start questioning the manager. Is he right? And then that's how a change room disintegrates and becomes, and then you get fractions of some people like the manager, some don't, some people like it, and players don't, and it can be ugly. And I've been involved in it, and it is terrible. You don't like to see it, and then. Like I say, when a new manager comes in, it's kind of like the players have a clean slate. So that's where I can see the flip side of why results can change. As much as I don't think the players they should still, no matter what happens, performing 100% and putting 100% effort in on a Saturday, trying to win that match no matter what. But I can understand the relief sometimes when a manager does go and a new manager comes in, and you've got that clean slate. There's no previous, you might have made a mistake for the goal last week, and now a new manager comes in. He's 9 times out of 10, he's seen what's happened, but he'll give everyone the benefit of doubt. So this is not a one-sided debate, by the way. This is sort of seeing it from both sides.